Welcome to Rich Keys Trading Channel, where we unlock one candle at a time. Please pay attention to the disclaimer on your screen. And with that out of the way, let's get into the charts. Okay, welcome back to another weekend of technical analysis of the major indexes, the dollar index. We also look at gold and silver and Bitcoin on this channel or this analysis session. Okay, so um, it's the end of the month. Today is the 30th of November, 2025. Hooray! Time is about 7:20 a.m. New York time as I do this analysis live. So, um, the monthly chart on the dollar index ended with a doji, a bearish doji, of course, because it's a red candle, as you can see right here. But then a doji is usually an indecision candle. It doesn't spell whether it's going to go up or it's going to go down. So let's keep this thought in mind that we are at an indecision point on the monthly. Okay. Price went all the way up, price came all the way down, and it closed somewhere right about where the battle began. Now, indicators wise, if we look at our RSI is still not in the positive territories yet. And so caution still on the dollar index. Okay, we are not in a bullish, strong uptrend yet. We are trading a reversal of the downtrend on the monthly setting. And if you look also on your stochastic cycles, we haven't hit cycle high yet. That suggests that there is opportunity for an upward movement on the dollar index based on the monthly setting. Now, of course, our momentum on the fast MACD is already up. Okay, but again, this is for short-term trading, not very reliable for long-term analysis. However, our normal MACD, which is the 1226 setting, is still showing that our histogram bars are getting closer towards the zero line, suggesting that on the longer term or the longer chart time frame, the bulls are still in charge, pushing, higher. Now let's step down to the weekly quickly and then see what the weekly presents. So if you look at the weekly chart, the weekly is still in a solid uptrend. Okay, now understand that we closed the week with a very bearish red candle. However, if you look at this trend line here, which is the 9 weekly EMA, price is holding up this EMA very well. And carefully, if you also do look at the closing of this past week's candle, we still close higher than last previous week's low. So here we have still made a higher low. Now for an uptrend, uptrend means higher lows, higher highs. Now of course we could not make a higher high, and that is where our caution comes in. Okay, we just went slightly higher and then slightly high than the opening of last week, and then we sold all the way down, closing at this support point. So that's about all that we can infer from the weekly, except also there is a few things on the indicator that I'd like to share. So if you look at this previous low compared to this low that we printed this week, you would realize that this low was a lower low. Here we have made a higher low, but our RSI is already giving us a lower low. Here is a bearish, here is a bullish hidden divergence, okay, what we call the hidden bull. And with the hidden bull in place on the weekly, it just is not yet confirmed until we print the next candle in the next coming week. Now, our MACD is at still above zero. Yes, we've lost our momentum. That's why it's light green, but it's still up above zero. We haven't crossed down yet. So nothing is set in stone for the bears to celebrate that the move up on the dollar is over. The cycle has already hit a cycle high and yet hasn't crossed to the upside. So there's some caution. And this is where I would say that the dollar is at a crossroads. Okay. In other words, I see the glass ceiling at 99,978 is still hanging. However, based on this week's closing, being higher than last week's closing, I think there is momentum or a chance for the dollar index plus the hidden bull that I just showed you on the RSI. There's a higher chance also for the dollar index to hold this support and go up in this coming week. Now, this gives it equal weight to the upside and equal weight to the downside. Therefore, if you're going to trade the dollar or any pair of the of the dollar index, as you know, whether Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD, if you're going to trade any of these pairs, bear in mind this level here, this level that I have put here for H support. Okay, a candle open and close below this level would suggest that we're coming much lower, and a candle open and close above here, more likely on the daily chart or on the 4 hours, would be a good signal for your buyers as we are at an indecision level. There's nothing that suggests that we can break below here, and there's nothing that suggests that we can go up. So here is a crossroads that one would have to be careful. There are a few other good things I'd like to share if you're a bull on the dollar index. Is that if you look carefully on the 4 hour time frame, and let's step down to the 4 hour time frame. Okay, look at this moving average here. This is my 200 EMA. All right, so we came to find support right at the 200 EMA, and we bounced strongly off of it. Now, the last 4 hours of trading session, we closed with a small green bullish candle. This candle pattern here is a bullish setup right here. I think some books call it the bullish kicker, where huge selling, but then the bulls take over and they kind of close with a small body candle here. So there's a bullish um setup on the dollar index. Although again, as I'm looking at this, if this level gets broken, then potentially this probably might be doing an ABC correction, where you could say that from the top of the glass ceiling, which is also a double top, okay, we've come down and we've bounced off. And so this is like a wave B, and potentially we could be cascading all the way down, potentially with a target in mind that will come somewhere around 97,884. So caution on the dollar, whichever way you want to trade it. The dice is in your hands. I can't tell you whether it's going to necessarily go up or it's going to cascade down. However, this level is key, whichever way you want to trade it. For me, a break of this moving average here, because as you can clearly see, this moving average has held pretty well since our uptrend began all the way back in September. Okay, as soon as we broke above here, this has held support, it held support right here, and we've come again to it. And if this support holds, you should expect us to continue going up. If this support holds, we're cascading our way down. So I think I've spent quite a bit of time on the dollar index, and I'll wrap up this dollar index forex analysis for now. Thank you for your time. I would present the other indices and the other assets in different video segments. So stay tuned and catch you in the next video presentation. Cheers. Thank you for listening and unlocking trade ideas and insights with us. One candle changed everything today. I hope you can already see how today's analysis can transform your trading decisions. If today's breakdown helped you spot opportunities or potential risks you would have otherwise missed, please consider subscribing and imagine what we will uncover together next time. Kindly give the video a like and share with an investor or a trader you care about. They would thank you when it saves them from a bad trade or a missed opportunity. Until next time, keep unlocking profits one candle at a time, and we'll meet again in the next video presentation. Cheers.